Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwahn, and today we are finally taking a look at Granblue Fantasy ReLink, a game that I have been waiting for like 8 freaking years, it feels like. I think the first trailer came out in like 2016, maybe. It's been forever because they announced Granblue Fantasy at the time. It was called Project ReLink, and they also announced Granblue Fantasy Versus, and they were supposed to both come out on the same day at the same time. And Project Granblue Fantasy Versus was the 2D fighting game. Granblue Fantasy ReLink was going to be the 3D adventure action RPG. And Granblue Fantasy Versus came out. ReLink did not. To the point that we got a sequel to Versus. It's called Versus Rising. We got a sequel to that game before we got ReLink. Versus Rising came out like a month ago. So like the fact that we're finally getting ReLink, oh my God. But this is one of those games that like I'm still excited about it. I still really want to play it, but it's taken so long to get here that so much of my hype for it has admittedly died down a little bit. Now, watching all of these trailers, let's hope that that changes. I still want to play it, although one of the things that I was looking forward to with this game is just not, it's not a thing. And I must have misunderstood in the communications when we were getting like updates on this game. But we'll talk about that more either throughout the videos or after the trailers. But either way, so finally, ReLink is releasing. Let's get started. I was right. 2016. Tokyo Game Show 2016. Platinum Games doesn't even work on this shit anymore. I unfortunately cannot help you translate.
Hello, my name is Haruta. I'm from Cygames. Cygames and Platinum Game work together to develop action RPG for high-end users. Today, we're announcing that this title is for PlayStation 4. I'm simply overjoyed to see
we're on PlayStation 5 now.
Which began as a social game for a smartphone, is now playable on PlayStation, a big game platform. These days, ways people enjoy games are proliferating. So we are exploring new ways to play Granblue Fantasy for smartphone and PC, and this Granblue Project ReLink, and social game and PlayStation game.
It's interesting because the social media, the social game, the gacha game, Granblue Fantasy, still isn't easily accessible in the West.
For the first time. Original Granblue Fantasy players might recognize her. I hope we can introduce her in another occasion. The images you see today are all running in the development environment, but we will continue to work on many new ideas.
And the game looked so freaking cool back then.
As for the launch timing, it will be released in 2018.
PlayStation VR? You originally wanted to have this on VR? Also, 2018 was 6 fucking years ago. Holy shit. Okay, so this was, I'm not going to play this because we've actually played, okay, actually, amend that. I'm going to play through bits and pieces of this and talk about it as we go. So this was a 6-minute showcase that took place at the beginning of 2018. And this was back when Platinum Games was still working on the project, okay? So we've actually checked out this footage, I think twice now on this channel, because for the longest time, this is kind of what we were relying on for any knowledge about the game, about what it looked like. So this character, this is Catalina. She's one of the core party members from the original Granblue fantasy game. Gran is the main character. We'll see him later, but of course Catalina is much easier on the eyes than just a really, really generic anime boy. So Catalina gets featured in a lot more things. And so we can see it's just a really, even at this point, 6 years ago, really, really gorgeous looking, right? And they do move us into a combat sequence here. And this is still when Platinum Games was working on the project. In the time since this trailer, Platinum Games was removed from the project. We don't know a lot of details about it. There's been states that Platinum Games said we concluded our work on it and we're not doing anything with it anymore. But that was, I think they made that statement either in 2019 or 2020, and now we're in 2024. And it's like, man, if Platinum Games finished the combat in 2019, what has taken this long to get us to this point? And I don't think we'll ever really get the answer to that. But you can see a lot of like the Platinum Games influence here. A lot of this is very reminiscent of games like Bayonetta or Astral Chain, and it just looked really, really cool for the time. They had like really cool effects. You could jump in between the characters. They had all these cool special effects and special abilities. We see combo effects and stuff in here. I'm not going to spend too much time here because the game has changed, not drastically, but significantly between what we see here and what we do get to see in some of the other trailers. But it's just one of those things of that it's crazy how long this game has taken to get where it is, when even back then this looked really good. And it's like, how far away were you from development here? Like, because the game looks like it's running really well, and it doesn't necessarily look like it's in a fabricated environment. Obviously it could be, because you're able to fake practically anything and everything now, but it does still make me wonder, like, what happened? Especially because the fighting games came out basically just fine. So this is marked as Granblue Fantasy ReLink 4th official trailer, and it is a unique trailer, but it's not on any of their official marketing. This is on just some rando person's YouTube channel. I guess that's what happens when you have just like random development over a decade. Kind of Dragon Quest-y vibes right here. It's not turn-based, obviously. It's still an action RPG, but big Dragon Quest vibes in this particular sequence. Well, you're a badass, aren't you? Oh, hi. It's very cinematic. He did. Good job, anime boys. You're gorgeous. Fabulous. That's Gran, by the way. That's the main character. That guy, that boring generic character in the center, surrounded by all of the cool people, he's the main character. But that's because he's not the one you gotcha for. You get him for free. You got to roll loot boxes and gamble your ass off to get these other cool characters. Not in ReLink, by the way. Let me clarify that. That's in specifically the gacha game, which is just at base called Granblue Fantasy. So we're gonna kind of skip through this video a little bit as well. They had a multiplayer gameplay demo back in 2019 as well, and this was one of the points where there was some confusion that was drawn out, because this multiplayer demo, it gives a really nice showcase of like actually playing the game, and you can see that there's 4 players here that are all controlling their own independent characters. And initially, I could have sworn up and down from the stars above to the center of the earth that at some point in an interview or something that it was claimed that we were going to have a 2-player co-op playable story and up to 4-player co-op playable missions. And apparently that is just not true. Apparently that I just imagined that's from a different dimension or some shit. We slid from dimension 682 into 779 or whatever the hell, because that is not the case at release. The story is single player only. You can only play by yourself through the story mode. The multiplayer part is mission oriented. So think of it kind of like Monster Hunter, where you meet one another in a hub, you get into a party, and then you go out into a condensed environment to do your mission, right? There's over 100 missions that can all be done in a party, but they are dedicated missions that multiplayer is functional in. But I swear, I remember them saying that the main story was going to be 2-player co-op. I swear up and down that they said that at some point. And like, obviously now that they've said on multiple occasions that that is not the way that it's going to play out. It is single-player story and multiplayer missions. But I've also had people be like, no, they never said that. They never made the claim that the story mode was going to be multiplayer, that there was no claim of co-op story. And I'm like, really? Man, I feel like I remember that. Game looks really good though, right? I'm not going to play too much more of this. We'll get into the more like catered media as what they want to show us. So this is context of, so this is all back when the game was still called Granblue Fantasy Project ReLink. And then we get into the teaser trailer when they called it Granblue Fantasy ReLink. And this is now December 17th of 2021. Monster Hunter sure looks different. Yeah, it does, right? This trailer is much louder than the other ones. I don't think I realized just how, like, cell-shaded Dragon Quest-y this feels. It's not a bad thing at all. It's just, like, an interesting observation of, like, man, it does kind of say Dragon Quest in its art style, while still feeling unique. I'm also just excited to get to see this world and these characters and their stories and stuff, because like I mentioned earlier, the gacha game Granblue Fantasy, it is a browser-based mobile game, and it's old as shit. It was one of the first like genuinely successful gacha games, made them a fuckload of money because loot boxes are mad money, right? Valve made almost $1 billion only on Counter-Strike loot box keys last year, by the way. But gacha games struggle to like tell a story in a way that I feel is really good, because of the way that they like want to have things disjointed and broken apart for the purposes of like trying to introduce new characters to add to the gacha so that you have to roll more money and stuff like that. And so, but I've heard that the Granblue world is really cool. It's a really fun world with fun characters. Guys, what the fuck? Available worldwide 2022. It's 2024. The hell? Jesus Christ. Really reminds me about Lacrimosa of Donna E7. Yeah. Which makes you actually want to play it. I'm glad to hear that. It's going to be available on Steam and PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Not on Switch. And Xbox is not getting it as either. Really pretty character designs. Yeah. Loot boxes are the worst. Also, yeah. Although, I mean, somehow Blizzard managed to find something worse than loot boxes, which was like, here, all right, fine. In Overwatch, we won't do loot boxes. We'll just charge you $30 for every skin.
Out there, at the end of the sky realm, I mean, a wall maybe?
A dragon.
Hey, can I ask you something?
No. Sure. Sorry, that was mean. You didn't ask the question. The world of Granblue fantasy.
It's nice we're getting closer to our goal and everything. I was thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful if our adventures never ended?
All right, Ash Ketchum.
You guys see that ship?
No.
The Church of Avia grows bolder by the day. I cannot sit idly by and allow such deeds to go unpunished.
Utopia? Wait, you just said Astarosia, but that's the same place we're headed.
Ah, truly?
I'm a sucker for little cat dragon mascots. Yeah. I forget his name. I used to know it, but I have since forgotten, but he's super cute.
This Skydam's strongest. Why are you here?
This has nothing.
Because I did try to play Granblue Fantasy a little bit, but it is
I can't
old.
imagine captaining a crew at your age. I'm not exactly a slouch myself.
Make it worth my while, Skyfarers.
Captain!
I'll clear it.
Still going, though.
Stay close.
Still a very supported and profitable gacha game.
Sealed there.
Amazingly.
Cue the action music. Let our blades do tough. Ready.
Hey, it's from the very first trailer, but like significantly upgraded visually.
Give in.
Go time. No eye contracting.
They can run, but they can't fly from the Grand Cipher. Not while I'm helmsman.
We promised to meet up with
You look like a Final Fantasy 14 character.
Think you can save Lyria? What a
The people in the white cloaks straight up look like the Scions, I think, from Final Fantasy 14.
The stars await, and we mustn't keep them.
I love that each of these trailers has had a new release year. Not a release date, a new release year, and they've all been inaccurate. So that was January 2023. We're going to move forward to May 2023. Dude's about to beat your ass with his shield.
Nightfall.
Oh, you look scary as hell.
Let's heat it up.
You know, Eve, I think you might have been a little more on the money with the Monster Hunter thing than you initially realized with that joke.
Great sight, rid on.
Tempest Blade!
Ice take.
Seize the dead! Showtime! Gale Burst!
Still looks cool as shit, though. Well, nope. Actually, that one is technically correct. Yeah, that one is correct. 2023 winter is correct. So 2023 wasn't correct, but winter 2023 is correct. All right. Here's the release date trailer. When was this from, actually? August. The skies of yore beckon. Will you heed the call? Psy Games. Well, now I'm just thinking of Midway Games. I miss Midway Games. They're technically still around under a different name.
One way back is to restore the
He just said Carpe Diem as a battle move. What a baller. Seize the day.
And attempt to cast open the gates once more.
I'm
You can tell
awesome.
primal beasts were weapons created by astrals. Their powers are capable of untold destruction.
Primal beast. Is that what you call primeval gods?
I sense something.
Oh, that creature was
Can't put a
cool.
finger on what.
That doesn't look right from up here.
Shadow of the Colossus, baby. Figure out how the fuck to get up there. Good luck.
Something's blocking me. I can't get through.
Oh, primeval god, I beg.
Man, this game still looks fun as fuck, though.
But fate
He's so
set in
cute.
motion can't be stopped. Deliver us from grief and sacrifice. Fulfill my salvation.
Oh, you an evil bitch, ain't you?
The Hobbit! We've been through a lot together. Visited new islands, met new people. But you've always been there to protect me. I just wanted to say thank you.
Why did the eye textures look like they were significantly lower quality than the rest? Releases worldwide February 1st, which means you have exactly 28 days to play it before Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out. It's fine. Plenty of time. This is the official theme song reveal trailer. I'm not going to play this because so often, especially with some of these JRPGs, the theme songs are copywritten, but it's in the description down below if you want to listen to it for yourself. But we will watch this official boss battles gameplay trailer. We will watch that. I can't imagine this shows every boss. Well, okay, it's not going to show every boss, but I will share some thoughts about some of the things that have been revealed in interviews after this video. Climb! Climb the Colossus! Oh no, you really do. Sweet. Oh, that looks like it sucks. So weird. Like, I do wish more game trailers would at least show a glimpse of the user interface. It can be just a couple of seconds, just enough that I can pause and take a look and see what the UI looks like. Bitch be evil. Released worldwide February 1st. So here's the thing, right? So it is available on Steam. It's going to be a full price game. Here's one of the things that's really interesting about this game, okay? We've already talked a couple of times about how this game has been in development for like 10 fucking years, right? That footage from the IGN video that was when it was like Platinum Games was still actively on the project, that was from 2018. And we're here now, 6 years later, actually getting the game. And one of the questions was like, man, what was going on? And, you know, if it was like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is like 400 hours long or some absurd amount of time, I'd been like, okay, I see it. Granblue Fantasy ReLink, the developer, one of the developers, either the director or somebody in an interview, said that the main story, if you only do the main story, is going to take 20 hours. If you do some side content along the way, it'll push it up to like 35 to 40 hours. And when it comes to the optional missions, and those are the ones that you can Monster Hunter party your way in, there's either 100 or a little over 100 of them. Doing all of those, completing the game will take you 100 hours. But if the story only takes you 20, I'm like, man, not that I feel that that's a bad amount of time. I don't care how long an RPG is if it does everything that it needs to do within that time. If you can tell your entire story that you want and it's presented really well with like good writing and a good pace and everything, and you can do that in 8 hours, I will love the shit out of that 8 hours, right? If you need 20 hours, awesome. If you need 45, cool. Just don't waste my time and tell me a good story and however much time you need to tell the story. But it is really interesting to me that the game took so long to get here, and it doesn't sound like there's much reason for it to take a decade, right? I don't know. It's just a little strange. And I do still really wish that there was co-op available for the story mode. I'm admittedly pretty disappointed that isn't an option that's available in there, but alas, here we are. Still really cool. I definitely want to play it. I'm definitely going to play it. I'm looking forward to getting involved in the Granblue world in a way that is just not accessible otherwise, because Granblue Fantasy Versus just can't quite get there because it's a fighting game, right? And Granblue Fantasy, the gacha game, is just like not the play. Probably some internal stuff that we'll just never know about. You're absolutely right. I just wish that we had some way of knowing, but obviously we don't, and we probably won't unless somebody says something about it in an interview or it leaks somewhere or something. But alas, it's finally here. I'm honestly really glad. I'm looking forward to playing it. What about you? What are your thoughts? Do you play Granblue Fantasy? And if so, how do you feel about ReLink? Did you try out Rising? How do you feel about this entire scenario? Or what do you think it's going to mean for the franchise as a whole, for the brand? If you've only played Rising, are you interested in an action RPG that has some level of foundational work put down by Platinum Games? Let me know. Comments down below or catch up with me on social media. I'm on basically all of them: Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, Instagram, Discord. Or you can join us on the stream because we do record these videos live on Sundays on Twitch, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. If you go to one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy.